you are a chemistry teacher, this video is for you. For those who are students writing Waec, this video is also for you. We want to look at practical chemistry, which you will be writing in your Waec very soon. And in this aspect of practical, we want to look at qualitative analysis. Remember, in chemistry practical Waec, it is divided into three. We have the quantitative analysis, which involves titration. We have the qualitative analysis, which involves the analysis of salts, and the other one is just test of chemistry to know how well you understand chemistry. So, but in this video, we want to look at qualitative analysis. If you are joining us for the first time, this is our Jeremiah YouTube channel. You can as well follow us on Facebook on Jeremiah Online Chemistry. Those who are teachers, a video have already been made on titration based on endpoint, how you can determine your endpoint without even using calculator or calculation. Also, the parameter that you need to calculate in this year's 2025 Waec is also there. So we'll go straight to the point. This is qualitative analysis. Qualitative analysis analysis also, and we are given two things to analyze, and that is we have copper 2 sulfate and we have glucose. These are the two things we are given to analyze. So we want to look at how it is. Now we are asked to analyze it in a ratio of that we should mix them. You should mix them in a ratio of 1:1. 1:1. So if you are a chemistry teacher, 1:1 means that if you fetch 5 grams of glucose, you must fetch 5 grams of what? Copper 2 sulfate. Do you understand? So if it is 1 gram that you measure, you must also measure 1 grams of what? Copper 2 sulfate, so that it can be a homogeneous mixture. That is what we call 1:1. Do you get that? So now, how do you report your practical in Waec? So we have a format, and that format is, we have test. We have test here. We have observation. And we have what we call inference. So here we are going to draw our line. Here we have serial number. We have, very good. So now in this case, we'll say this is our AI. We are asked to mix this thing, so we already measure our copper sulfate and glucose. You measure it together. If you measure 5 grams, you must also measure 5 grams of what? Glucose. When you measure it, what you are going to do is that you say that let's title this one to be what? C. In case you are the one of titration, maybe it's A. The one of the acid is A, the salt is B. This one for salt analysis might be what? C. So let us title it as what? C. Of course, if you are a chemistry teacher, you know what I mean. So now let's say C plus distilled water. Some can write distilled water, or you can say H2O. Do you get that? C plus H2O, C plus distilled water, C plus water, anyhow you want to put it, you can read. So when you put these two things into water, what you are going to observe is you have a light C dissolve in water to give a light blue solution. So this is what you are going to write. C dissolve in water to give a light blue solution. Why? Because This is anhydrous salt. Anhydrous salt is a salt that does not contain water. But you see this copper sulfate. This copper sulfate, the anhydrous form of it is white. Do you get that? It's white. But anytime it come in contact with water, it turns to blue. Do you get that? So when you mix glucose and this anhydrous sulfate, you now dissolve in water, you see a blue color coming out, a light blue color. That is why in your observation you are going to report C dissolve in water to give what? To give a light blue solution. Do you get that? So now in your inference now it says C is a mixture. C is a mixture of soluble salt, because C here dissolve in water, so it's a soluble salt. Okay, if it doesn't dissolve in water, C is insoluble salt. You get that? So C is a mixture of soluble salt. Do you get that? So now that one has finished. So now proceed to the next one. Is that understood? Now this solution now that you have just prepared, you will be asked to divide this solution into 3 portions. Do you get that? You'll be asked to divide it into what? Into 3 portions. So on first, you now say AII. Let's title this one AII. First portion now, like I said, this C that contain glucose and copper sulfate, you mix it with water, and when you mix it with water or you dissolve it in water, then you will be asked to separate it to find test tube, 3 test tube. Measure maybe 5 mils of it or 3 mils of it, anyhow they will ask in the exams. So they will ask you should keep 3 portion of it. So this 3 portion of it, we take first portion now. First portion of this of this solution, plus what we are going to look at first, we look at barium chloride. First portion plus what? Barium chloride. That is aqueous barium chloride. What you are going to observe is white precipitate. Form. White precipitate form, or you can say white precipitate observe. Now when you see white precipitate observe like that or form like that, there are a lot of ion that behave like that, and some of the ion is, we have sulfate ion, which we might probably be looking at. We have SO3 ion, we have CO3 ion, okay, we have even S2 ion. Okay, they are all present, or you can say suspected. Some can say present. If you say present, you are correct. If you say suspected, you are also correct. Is that understood? So all this one, they are all present. You get that? Now you'll be asked to add HCl. You'll be asked to add HCl. Okay, when you are asked to add HCl, you will see that no visible reaction occur. You get that? There is no visible change occur. So you report no visible change. No visible change, or you see that there is no reaction. It does not, the precipitate be like that. So no visible change, comma, precipitate insoluble. Precipitate insoluble. So no visible change, and precipitate is what? Insoluble. That is where to say that SO4 ion is what? Present. So this is where to know that this one, only this one is present. Okay, only this one is what? Present. This one has finished. So at the end of it, we roll our line. The next thing we are going to look at is what? Is the second portion. This one is let's title this one B, second portion. We are done with the first portion. Second portion now. Second portion of this solution plus NaOH aqueous in drops. What you are going to observe here is pale, or you can say light or pale blue gelatinous pale or light blue gelatinous precipitate formed pale or light blue precipitate form, or you can say that observe. All right, this one is in drops, then in excess. When you add this one in essence, it's a precipitate insoluble. Precipitate insoluble. The precipitate, when you add it in drops, you have this same form, light blue gelatinous precipitate form. Then in essence, precipitate what? Insoluble. So what you are going to write in your inference is C2 copper 2 ion present. This word behave like that. Anytime you see substance, blue color is copper. Copper is always blue. Iron is always green. Okay, and so on and so forth. So just take note of that. So the next thing, this one precipitate is what? Insoluble. Precipitate is what? Insoluble. Now from here you are going to, let's continue here. In essence, now you now add this a particular solution. You add plus Na plus aqueous ammonia in drops, then in excess. What you are going to see is a continuation of this one. Just take note of that. What you are going to observe when you add aqueous ammonia in this solution, you say precipitate dissolve. Precipitate dissolve to give a deep blue solution. By the time you add, remember when you add excess sodium hydroxide, precipitate was insoluble. Do you get that? But when you now added ammonia, precipitate is what? Is now soluble. That is, it now dissolve. Since it dissolve, it says it is soluble. Okay, precipitate dissolve to give a deep blue solution. That is to confirm what? C2 plus confirm. You get that? That is to say that you have confirmed copper 2 ion. Do you get that? Then we are done with that. The next thing now is the third portion. Now remember, we say you are going to divide this one into 3. The third portion, let's just say is C. You say third portion. This third portion of this one, you have to add the third portion of our mixture. That is a mixture of copper sulfate and glucose plus Fehling solution. I hope you are writing. Just pause the video and write. Okay. Fehling solution. When in the third portion, now add Fehling solution, then plus heat. What you are going to observe is brick, brick red precipitate, precipitate form or observe. Some people can write form or some people can say observe. Anyone you use is what is still correct. So when you add failing solution and you add it with you now hit it, this is what you are going to see. Of course, we are going to, I will explain the small chemistry behind that. So what you are going to see here is what presence of reducing sugar, presence of reducing sugar, presence of what reducing what sugar, or you can say that reducing or reducing agent present. You can write presence of reducing sugar or reducing agent present. Now what's the chemistry is that understood? So this is what you are going to expect if you are a chemistry teacher teaching in a secondary school for Waec. It is expected that you teach students how to go about this equation. Teach them how the step by step on how I have explained here in the laboratory. Just go and carry out this test, show students, so that when they face it in the forthcoming Waec exam that is coming, they should not have problem over it. Is that understood? So just calm down, teach them step by step. This is a format in which Waec is going to set their set this qualitative analysis. For volumetric analysis, that is titration, I have already made a video concerning that. If you have not seen that, just check Ojemike YouTube channel, or you go direct to Facebook, just type Ojemike online chemistry. A video has already been arranged. If you are a chemistry teacher and you don't know how to get endpoint through calculation, if you don't know how to get it through calculation, you can just private chat me. I will teach you how you can always be getting your endpoint without not doing titration. You get that? To do your get your endpoint without not doing titration. But that one, of course, we'll discuss. Okay. So if you are just joining us for the first time, just hit the subscription button on the YouTube and also that follow button on Facebook. Thank you so much. Please peruse through it. I wish you success in your exams. Bye bye.